What it is, what is good, what it is, what is up, what is good, gamers, if I can talk clearly today. Your auditory canals are tuned into episode 271 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And of course, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, we got Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Hater,
That's me.
aka the Cat Daddy, aka that Gamer Stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, not much. Just happy to be here as always. We'll let you know that. Guess what? Once that new Switch 2 comes out, I might not be the high res hater no more. I might be the high res lover. You know, might have to put some respect on it.
Put some spect on that name, huh?
Yeah, because I'll be like, Nintendo finally bringing it. It's 2 generations ago, but they bringing it.
Yeah, Immortals of Avium upscaling so everything looks all pixelated and crappy.
You need to shut up, sir. No one talking to you.
Old man screaming at the cloud.
And of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
That is me. Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on, dude?
Not much since the last time we recorded. I'm still inching forward with getting everything set up. So my new gaming PC is still in its box. But I am drawing that line in the sand. I'm working as hard as I can. You know, I had like kind of some issues at work this week where I was like working like bonanza hours at least Thursday and a part of Friday. So it's just been one thing after another. So, you know. And then having to deal with all these forks at work and that kind of thing, you know, the fork in the road, and, you know where I could say where to place that fork, right?
Yes.
Like plainly up the buttockus.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been working for the government for a very, very long time. And so, you know, that fork basically should get 2 middle fingers, in my opinion. So
we get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah,
understood.
For sure. This train is gonna keep on rolling until I get derailed, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, government needs his money, so I don't see how. I doubt it'll be derailed anytime soon because they're gonna get paid.
They're gonna get their money. They are going to get their money.
Whether we like it or not, they're gonna get their money. Yeah, like government. They're like the national gangster in chief. It's just like extorting everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go collect them tariffs now. I love them tariffs.
Yeah, hey man, it's an easy transition.
You know it.
It's an easy transition.
You know it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we go into our regular scheduled programming, I had a little bit of an announcement to make. On a somber note, an individual that has been very influential in my spiritual growth passed away last week. His name is Paul Shepard, the lead pastor of Destined for Victory Fellowship out of Oakland, California. His podcast was one of the first ones, faith-based podcast I listened to after becoming a Christian. This has got going on like 24 years ago. And his ability to inject humor and making the Word of God relatable for our day-to-day and teaching how to live in Christ on a day-to-day basis is some of the best sermons that you're ever going to listen to. The podcast is still active. They're rerunning his a lot of his older sermons now. I'm sure that the congregation is dealing with a lot of well, for for a Christian, death really isn't a grieving thing. It is you're going to miss the individual, but you know where he's at. He is in the presence of Christ, which is where those of us who bear his name and walk in his light wind up when we leave this world. So I am going to start our show with a 30-second moment of silence for Mr. Paul Shepard, again, head pastor of Destined for Victory Fellowship and producer of the Destined for Victory podcast. So 30 seconds of silence. And I appreciate that from you co-hosts. Appreciate that. So with that said, we are going to move into what is always our first topic on the docket, and that is the playlist. So for the playlist, I'm going to start first because I ain't played nothing. It's like I ain't got no game. I ain't played no games. I ain't even touched. I ain't even touched the Ken Hank this week. It's been work at my regular job, and it has been work just doing my side hustle. So I ain't got nothing for y'all this weekend. So
It'd be like that some weeks, you know.
it does be like that. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to Dez. What you been up to this past week, bro?
Just a little multiplayer games. I'll start with the game that I've been playing by myself, and then I can talk about the two games that I've been playing with Joe. So the first game I've been playing is Torchlight 2. For me, that has become sort of like my comfort food game. I really like it. I can put it on. I really like the art style. I really like the progression. It's just a fun game that's not demanding. It's very much like Diablo. When it is a Diablo, but I really like the art style and the pets and everything. And it's just a fun little, take your mind off of stuff and just have fun. So that's really what I've been playing on when I'm not playing with Joe or having any off time. And I know I have some, newer stuff that I could be playing, but every now and then you just wanna kind of like chill out and just zone out. And this is a really great game to do that with. So I'm back on the Torchlight 2 bandwagon. I don't know if I'm gonna beat it. I will play it for a little while and then move on to something else. And then, in a couple months, I'll probably, start playing it again. So that's kind of how these your kind of fun games are, that you just kind of do. But when Joe's around, we have been playing Borderlands 3. We talked about that last week, and really, I don't know why I started playing this game again. I think it was mostly because of the announcement of Borderlands 4, and I like the game. I think the game is really fun. I think the shooting mechanics are good. The story, if you strip down the story to what's going on, I think the story is pretty good. It's just all the extra stuff, that they're throwing in to make it like, edgy or goofy or whatever. Just is kind of like, it's very dated. Even the game is like only like 5 years old, maybe. But even in that space of time, it's kind of dated. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with Borderlands 4 and see how they're going to, or if at all they're going to break the mold. I don't think so. I think it's going to be more of the same. But I was hoping that we would be able to make our own characters for Borderlands 4, but that would not be in keeping with Borderlands tradition, and I think that's kind of why they didn't do that. I thought it'd be more akin to Tiny Tina's, but I think that they're keeping it separate. Tiny Tina's is its own thing, and this is like a really fleshed out world where you have characters that you're adding to the mythos, and I'm fine with that. So, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm enjoying my time with Joe when we run around and play. I'm feeling I'm really into the completeness, like completing everything mode, completionist mode that Joe can be sometimes, and so we're actually completing the challenges for each map and stuff like that. So it's been fun. It's been fun just kind of hanging around and doing stuff with him. And to Joe's credit, he has really cut back on the having to go to to clear every fog of war on the map. Like he's actually keeping that to a minimum when he's playing with me, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I actually only been doing that when Desmond's not ready to play or whatnot. I just take an opportunity to go in and clean out my my backpack, and basically maybe check out an area that is not not shown as being covered on my map. So it's like usually when I play an ARPG, I kind of like to explore every region or section of the map if need be. I'm pretty bad with that. And playing something like Far Cry or something where it's at Ubisoft, open world, just like try to find everything on the map kind of thing. You get that OCD going on, and it's just like an itch. Like you're sitting there scratching. So.
Yep, I do know.
Yeah. First thing we did when we opened up, because there's one thing in the plot that basically you regain and fly in a ship off of the planet that you're on, and that's basically the Pandora. That's the hub that was in Borderlands 2, and so I was able to go and look to see. And the first thing I did was go in and pay as much money as I possibly could to expand my backpack. So, less time for me to sit there and hoover up everything and having to go back and sell all this stuff. So
yeah, he knows what he likes.
Yeah, it. But Borderlands, I'm looking forward to just kind of inching back into it. I want to complete and finish the Borderlands 3 campaign. I actually played Borderlands 2 to its completion a couple times. And I even played some of the DLC, so it's like I have the Game of the Year edition, and so I've heard some of the DLC for Borderlands 3 is actually better than the main campaign, actually. So I'm kind of looking forward to kind of digging into it, a little bit more, extracting that value, quote unquote. So
I never beat Borderlands 2, so.
Oh, Borderlands 2 is it's really good. So
yeah, but I do have to agree. Borderlands 2. If we're to rate them, I think Borderlands 2 is head and shoulders above Borderlands 3. There's just something about Borderlands 2 that is just, I don't know, it's just classic goodness. So
I don't know, but after playing Borderlands 3, it's just kind of like when we both went back to play the Borderlands Game of the Year edition, Borderlands 1. It was just kind of wasn't too hot.
Well, because Borderlands is just, you can't compare Borderlands to now. You just can't. It's not even close. It's like you're literally, I don't know. It's like comparing what would be it'd be like comparing a car from like the 80s to a car from like now. It's like you just can't do it. Like why would you do that? It's like the technology is just so different, and they've learned so much. That's why I think it's so good, because I think that's when they had their A game, was.
Oh, you say Borderlands 1 is like a Geo Metro then, basically, is what you're telling me?
No. I'm like, it's like that classic. I don't know.
Classic.
It's like,
okay.
It's like a classic 80s Corolla that you can't
compare
it to like a 90s Corolla. It's like you just can't do that because they're not the same car.
Yeah, I guess so. Like Crackdown would be a Geo Metro, so
yeah, that definitely Geo Metro.
That'd be a Yugo.
Wow.
Get out of here.
He's not wrong though. So
Get out of here. The original Crackdown is beautiful. Crackdown 2
Oh,
is actually like,
the original was okay. The original was okay.
come
I
on.
played it. I finished the game. 2,
yeah.
3.
I thought 2 was pretty good. Not gonna lie. I thought 2 was pretty good.
Oh,
Like
the zombies? Yeah.
I thought 2 was pretty good. I was like, all right, this is okay. But yeah, I don't really remember the first one. Like I was like, but back to what we were talking about. Yeah. Borderlands.
I'm looking forward to Borderlands 4. From what I read, I guess it's going to be a little bit more open world than Borderlands 3. So, and
To be expected.
yeah, but nothing to where it's like Randy Pitchford said in an interview saying that it's not going to be like an Ubisoft game or anything like that. So, but you're able to there's a grappling hook with the game and a hover bike. So
yeah, I saw that stuff and I'm like, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, it for lack of a better word or term, it's got my attention. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward for them to make it better. And I guess the narrative is going to still have the comedy, but it's not going to be the silly, super silly slapstick kind of stuff. And I mean, to tell the odds honest truth, I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
I'm hoping that there's a side quest with some snark to about the Borderlands movie, maybe throwing a. I wouldn't put it past them. Maybe they'll have like a crew show up that kind of looks kind of similar to, like the. I'm trying to remember the name of the Raiders. What is it called, Des?
The Crimson Raiders.
Crimson Raiders, yeah. They have like maybe this B crew, like these fake looking Crimson Raiders show up from the Borderlands movie. Yeah.
You gotta kill him. That'd be hilarious. But
yeah.
I mean, part of me, because it was weird. Like I played the first Borderlands and I was like, it's just again, it's just kind of rudimentary. And then I played the second one and I was just like, it took me a minute to get into the second one, and then when I really got into it, I was like, damn, this is really good. And then, but the third one was the one that I really kind of played the most of. And so I kind of want to go back. It's weird. Like I kind of want to go back and play them all and beat them all to see the story, because I don't know if you knew all this. I said this a long time ago when we first started when Borderlands 3 came out. I read the comics. Like I read all that stuff. And so I had this sort of like, because when I really got into Borderlands, like I really got into it pretty hard. And so I really enjoyed, because the comics are a lot more serious tone than the games. So it's just kind of this disconnect. But even the second one was a lot more serious than the third one. So the third one was just kind of like they kind of changed the tone a little bit, and it was just kind of like they kind of went to the left, or they kind of like tipped the scales a little too far. So hopefully it'll be more balanced. But yeah, I was really into the Borderlands lore. So part of me kind of wants to like actually go back and play those old ones and beat those old ones. But I don't know if I can go back to play the first one. It's just like I don't know.
I played the first one quite a bit, so I think if you're willing to like maybe kind of, especially I think when you were trying to play it, you were trying to play it on Steam. You were playing on PC, so maybe that had something to do with it.
You're probably right, sir. Because
because the interface is a little bit different, but you might want to take a look at the Game of the Year edition on PSN. You also might want to take a look at the Tales from the Borderlands, the Telltale Games one, the first one.
I never played that one.
Yeah,
I played the what was the one? Because we played the prequel. We played that one together too.
Yeah, Borderlands the pre-sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, we played that one, and that was pretty good.
Yeah, the one on the moon. I thought that was okay. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I just think about like which ones I want to, if I'm gonna like go on this journey and try to beat them all, because I know my track record is really, really bad. So really bad.
Extract that value. You don't have to go chase after the new shiny. You can like I'm dig in your back catalog. And
I'm in Joe's kind of territory. He's like, come on, value. So,
but might want to take a look. It might be a good Switch game, for you possibly. So
maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, if I'm gonna play it, it's gonna be on my PlayStation. You know,
Oh.
if I'm gonna start trying to extract value out of anything, it'll be my PlayStation. So,
I know.
but the only other game that I've been playing, and that has been with Joe and Goonie. We actually did it, y'all. We did it. We started our Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. Yippee yippee! So I am playing a priest, a cleric. Sorry, a cleric of a light cleric. So I am a striker blaster type character. So I do like AoE damage, and I can heal the party and all this other stuff. Goonie is playing a bard, and then he's gonna do dips into a rogue. So he will be our lockpicker and stuff like that. And Joe is going to be he's a barbarian. So Joe is out here living his best barbarian life, trying to kill everybody and be a barbarian. So we
So,
played the first part of it. We got to Faerun, and now we are we found Shadowheart, and then we ended right then and there. So it was very interesting. So I'm gonna let Joe talk about this because this is his first time playing a game like this, I think, or as he hasn't played a game like this in a long time. So I want to know what um what your thoughts were and your experience so far. So I think that'd be very interesting. So
nothing really for me to say. I mean, I know it's really based in D&D rules, and I've only played D&D once at Desmond's house when he rolled a campaign for his birthday one year, and so it was kind of cool to see. I had come from playing a lot of RPGs, but playing a lot of JRPGs, and so JRPGs, obviously you got your story in a container, and you're pretty much just going from one section to the next. Obviously killing everything you could come across in the field, and so obviously playing Baldur's Gate 3. There's a couple circumstances when at the beginning of the game when we were like, option was to possibly kill like a character that was in some sort of danger or, trapped. And of course, me, the barbarian of the world over here is saying, kill, sitting there and just like murking people. It's like,
yeah. What did you think about the interface though? I mean, that's the one thing I really want to like kind of.
Interface is cool. It's just trying to get used to everything because there's a lot of options in the menu, and I'm still kind of getting an idea as far as what all the options do. I'm still not 100% in knowledge as far as everything because I know that there's different actions I could do. It's not just simply attack or defense or magic. That's in the menu. There's a lot of other things, and of course the dialogue choices as well. So and I think it's a little bit more of a story crafting device. It's probably a little bit more nuanced than like say a Mass Effect or a BioWare game where you're just dealing with the dialogue tree. I think I'm kind of curious to see as far as where our adventure will take us because obviously I try to keep as I'm trying to go in as blind as I possibly can, so everything is like a good experience. But I'll be taking a look at maybe some build videos because Desmond has been forwarding me a few of them. But in a way, I want to like.
No, you should watch
truly role play.
No, you should really watch the build videos because and the thing about it is we get a character in our camp where you can actually re-roll everything. So this game is very, very it's very easy to rearrange your character. So it's what I'm trying to say, it's very hard for you to nerf yourself where you can't do anything. So that's the thing that's the thing that I really like about this game is you can actually like re-roll your whole character, everything from the ground up if you don't like how you're playing. So it's kind of like you could do it at any time, So once you get this one specific NPC, but you get them really early. So that's why I think it's relatively straightforward and easy to kind of do stuff. But just seeing your abilities and what you can do, it's just like on that basic level. I think you just need that, because none of these guides will tell you anything about the story. It's just telling you like everything you can do, because there are a lot of mechanics that they added into the game to mimic the tabletop, and it mimics so well that it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy now. And now what they did is you could literally have a party of you can roll with your whole party now, which is crazy, because it used to be you can only have four players, but now you can have your 4 players, and each one of you can have an NPC that you control in combat as well. It's disgusting. So you can have up to, I think it's 16 people on your team running around doing everything, and that's just so many people that you can do when you're playing with other characters. When you're playing multiplayer, you can't do that when you're playing single player. It's just a 4-player. You're just you and your three other teammates. But in multiplayer, you can take everyone in one big party and like micromanage all of them, and that just seems insane. But I guess that some people love it, and I'm like, no, thank you. So that's too much. I'm having a great time, and we're still trying to do this. I'm really enjoying it. I think the interface is great. I am playing a spellcaster, so there's a couple more things that I can do, but even that I'm still learning, because I've only played about 20 hours of it. And no, not most of it was making a character. I hear y'all talking. Screw all y'all. No, I actually have played the game, and but I'm liking it, and I really hope that the 3 of us can really stick with it and actually eventually beat this game. I think it would be a lot of fun for us to beat this game. So, but yeah, Joe, anything else that you want to say about Baldur's Gate? If not, I'll kick it over to you, and you can tell the folks the other things that you've been playing, because those are the only 3 games that I've been playing, really.
Well, only thing I can say is, I mean, I'm grateful that you have been pushing me to play it, because obviously I bought the game. I want to enjoy the game. I meant to like dig into it. So it's just, I don't know why it's taken me so long. When you're trying to think about approaching a game like Baldur's Gate 3, it just seems like kind of very daunting, especially because, I tend to kind of go from game to game to game. And I just want to make sure that if I'm going to put the time and effort in this, that, I get its full give it its full attention, that and be able to do that, because I especially know with RPGs, especially that if you let it kind of die down a bit, that it's something to where you might not find time or find the effort to go back to some of your backlog and whatnot. I think playing multiplayer is a good thing, because that will give me impetus to the keep at it. So
there you go.
All right, as far as what else I've been up to this past week, pretty much still playing the usual stuff. I'm playing Journey to the Savage Planet. I didn't play with John BT this week, but pretty much I put a good amount of time into the game. In fact, it's kind of, I would say it's like a micro No Man's Sky, because you're just exploring one world and basically trying to discover things while you're in that world. But it's kind of similar to where you're scanning, different alien life, having to do some, little missions around the world, and gaining additional powers. And I like the comic bent of the game. All the commercials are like super funny on here, so it's like super tongue in cheek as far as this whole premise of the game, where you're basically being hired by the 4th best space exploration company to be able to go out and explore this world. So it's just it's been a real nice thing to dive back into my backlog and actually play this game. So I've been enjoying that quite a bit. EDF World Brothers is still like my kind of tentpole, like my game I play when I'm just wanting to decompress. So I'll definitely still plugging away. I'm like about mission 45 now. So I'm almost, because part of the premise in World Brothers is that, the aliens have come and split the world into like halves, and you have to reconnect the world, the Lego looking world all together. So So there's going to be definitely some twists and turns because I believe like most EDF games have like at least 100 levels, and I think I'm only like up to halfway through this game. So there's a ton of meat on it. So I've just been having a lot of fun just, working with different teams and kind of balancing, each of the character types to come up with a cohesive type team that I could play with. So I'm even taking a look at some of the trophies and seeing as far as what I could do to pop some of the trophies, because it's some of the trophies basically state to use certain weapon types. So I've been making sure to maybe throw a fencer in, and obviously air diver has been like a crucial element to my team, because part of the minutia when you open up a map when you first start a level is that you have to go rescue 3 downed EDF brothers on the map, and then once you pick them off the map, it either levels up the character if you already have the character in your roster of characters, or if it's a new character, it brings another character. And there's so many variations of characters in that game, and it has characters all the way from EDF 1 to EDF 6, and you also have all the sub games, all the like side games like Insect Armageddon, Iron Rain, you name it, it's all part of the character roster in this game. So it's still enjoying it quite a bit. There's a lot of self-referential humor in the plot line of the game as well. So
that's always good.
Yeah. So I know you two have been like, why would I want to play Lego EDF? I'd rather just play EDF. To me, it seems like almost like an EDF in my mind and my eyes. So
I have the game. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know you have it. So
I'll play with you if you want.
Okay.
I mean, maybe.
Not like me asking you to play Justice League
No,
Suicide Squad.
I'm not gonna play that game. Sorry, you can.
Or Crackdown 3 or something. So.
You can keep that, buddy. It's not happening. It's just not gonna happen. Sorry.
Yeah. Or is anything besides games? I went to the movies a couple times this week. I saw Companion and I saw Nosferatu finally. So Nosferatu is kind of evil for the sake of being evil, and it's very gothic and vampire-ish, of course. So I thought the movie was good, but at the same time it's kind of a little overwrought in places, in my opinion. But and Companion's great. So if you happen to see, I don't know if that would be quote unquote a date movie, but because the movie's about a sex bot that goes awry. So, but
oh, good lord.
Well, no, that's not. It's not. That's not.
From
what you told me, it's not entirely true.
Yeah, no.
There's there's a human element that makes it a lot worse than it should be.
Yes,
that makes her.
Yeah, the main male character in the movie hacks.
He's the real.
Yeah, he's the real villain. Yeah,
let's not spoil it. No, let's not spoil it. People want to see it.
Got it. Okay, we'll do. But that's been my week. Oh, I happen also too. I forgot to mention this last episode, but I did, in the spirit of Kev's like retro discovery, I wound up ordering a retro system last weekend on here, and so I picked up. Look at my pre-order receipt. I picked up the Superstation. The Superstation basically is from Retro Remake, which is basically, if you know the YouTuber Taki Udon.
Nope.
But he's does like a lot of work in the FPGA space on here. So what they are trying to do with this particular console, the Superstation, is to make FPGA consoles affordable on there.
What does FPGA stand for, Joe?
FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Arrays on here. So basically, it's made to where if you use a FPGA board, it's not emulation. It actually tries to implement like a programming as if you were running it off the original system. Hardware. So like, if you know all those like FPGA handhelds coming from Analog, like the Analog Pocket and the N64, SNES, and Genesis that they've released.
Yeah.
They all were FPGA. So, and there's like FPGA retro system, basically that's like the bomb. It's been like, used by people, but the problem is that it gets to where that, especially if you heard of the Mister has like basically a thing where you build this FPGA system out of parts, and you're able to load different emulators, not emulators, but just like different systems that ROMs, not ROMs, but the cores, to run the cores. So I just thought it was cool because this particular system is shaped like a PlayStation 1, like not the original PlayStation, but the PS1, the smaller like form factor system that they brought out. So, but you're able to actually use this thing and load different FPGA cores on there besides PS1. You're able to load, like, they're going to have compatibility with Saturn and N64 and a few other systems that they're going to be able to work with it. And they're going to have what's called a super dock that you could order along with it, that you could actually run the PS1 games off a CD if you want to as well. So
super dock sounds cool.
Yeah. So we'll check it out. I'd pay for the pre-order. I mean, it's coming from Hong Kong, from China, so hopefully there's no additional tariffs.
You're going to pay a mint for that.
But I already pre-ordered it, so I paid ahead of time. It was only like $179.99. So, with shipping, it was like a little under $200. So, so we'll see. I'm making the bet that this system will be good, but we'll have to see. We'll talk about later on in the year once I receive it. So.
Yeah, I hope it's great because I want to see it in all of its glory. I mean,
yeah,
that stuff sounds really cool.
It actually has a slot for PS1 memory cards and PS1 controllers, so it actually uses the original hardware with it as well. So, and it supports a lot of different both analog and digital outs. So
cool.
You'll be able to use it with any number of displays and that kind of thing. So,
are you excited for it?
I'm excited for it because I'm interested in the Mister, but I don't want to spend like $600-$700 to play retro. So because the Mister setup, a good Mister setup could cost that much. Or where you're sitting there and buying a retro tank along with a Mister, and retro tanks sometimes those are not cheap either. RetroTrink is like the upscaler that basically makes you hook up a retro system and scale it to a display. So like if you want to play retro games on like an OLED or something like that, the RetroTink is like the end all be all as far as scalers are concerned. So it'll be able to make it look like you're playing off a CRT. So, but spending $800 for an upscaler is not in my book. So.
It's not the goods, huh, buddy?
Not the goods. So.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So with that, we're going to move on to our next topic on the docket. We've got a main event coming at you. All right, Des, you got the mic, man.
All righty, my friends. So, like we said last week, we are in our, I guess we'd call it our listener question era. So we have brought the questions to you every episode. So now it's your turn. Ask us any gaming related question and we will answer them on the show. So lay it on us and we will discuss it. So this week's question comes from Goonie. The trend over the last decade has been that fewer mid-budget AA games being released. We see big publishers / developers focus on AAA titles with bloating budgets, and then a large gap until we see indie titles released by smaller studio teams and individuals. Looking back, what's your favorite AA game, and what AA game series would you like to see a return without a AAA budget? Okay, so we're looking at a AA game returning but not receiving a AAA title. A AAA budget. I think the one that's really kind of on my mind right now would be a classic return to form AA version of Torchlight 2, like Torchlight. I really wish that someone would come in and really uh make a make a successor or revive that franchise and not have it be a online game, not having it be a gas game or anything like that. Just a straight up Diablo like game, because I really think that game, they did that dirty. They did that game dirty. You know, like the companies and all this stuff. And I understand, it could be money. I understand it could be, not selling enough units. I understand all that, but just some games just, I don't know. It's just like sometimes these game, publishers and companies, they just lose they lose the secret recipe, and they start making these games that are just not it's not good, and I don't know what that is about. I don't know what happens. Another one, and this is gonna make Joe happy that I say this. Even though I give this game series crap and the soundtrack is terrible, terrible, I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Sacred franchise. So if they were to do, speaking of an ARPG type of game, if they were to do a return to form of Sacred, like a Sacred Eternals or Sacred something or Sacred Forever, and they even bring back that cheesy ass Dragon Force, music for that franchise. If they were to do a double A game for that,
That's some heresy right there. Heresy,
what
Dragon
heresy?
Force. Get out of here with that crap. That's Blind Guardian. That is the greatest
It's
power metal band
It's all the same,
of
dude.
all time. Power
Blind
metal,
Guardian,
Blind
Dragon
Guardian.
Force,
Get out of here.
Onyx
Get
Dildo.
out of
It's all
here.
the same, dude. It's all they're all the same band. So
It's like saying Black Sheep's like crisscross. Get the hell out of here.
give me a break. That's completely separate. It's completely different. Completely different, sir.
Get out of here. Get out the front door. It's like saying Vanilla Ice is just the same as Gangstar or something. Get out of here.
That is no. You're those are not the same at all, sir. I think you need to just stop, sit down, stop, and realize that you're talking nonsense. So anyway, so I would think those two games, I think those two game series. What was that, Kev?
Just said it, just talking nonsense.
Yeah. The last game, and I don't think we'll ever get this game, and it's really sad because I think they're too big now to do this. What was it? Sly Cooper would be the other one. Another Sly Cooper game. I really think that this generation or the next generation would really enjoy a new version. And when I say new version, I'm meaning like a graphics upscaling, to make the graphics better, but an all new story starring that cast. I really enjoyed that series, but I just don't think that it is in the cards. And I really miss the days of the mascot platformer. And I know that Astrobot is kind of an outlier right now, and I know that Ratchet and Clank kind of launched the PS5. It was part of the launch thing with the PS5, but I just don't. I miss those. Like I miss those games. When a double A franchise, sorry, a double A studio could come out with like some weird looking mammal marsupial thing, make it a platformer, and it would sell like gangbusters. I miss that. I miss those days. So give me Anteater Ed or Elephant Charlie, and have it be a hip cool dude with like sunglasses and a skateboard, and I want to play it. But yeah, I think those would be the type of like games that I would want to see getting a refresh, you know, because I think those games don't really need a double A budget and don't really need a triple A budget. And I hate to say it, but there's a bunch of games that are on Nintendo, the Switch, you know, and I guess there's like a fine line between indie games and double A games, you know, and I think, you know, I would love to have like, you know, what makes an indie, like what makes an indie game an indie game, what makes a double A game a double A game, what's a single A game, you know, we have all these titles for these games, but what do they actually mean? I think that's really a good thing because I know some of these, because you can have a double A, you know, a triple A game and it's like millions and millions of dollars and you're just like, this is what we got, you know. Then you have an indie game that's like a couple 100,000 and it's just so much better. So like double A doesn't doesn't automatically equate to quality, you know, and but none of this stuff does. It's just kind of funny that people seem to think that it does. Because if that was the case, what Skull and Bones would have broke every sales record possible because that was a what quadruple A game or a 5A game or whatever, and that game was terrible. So you know it you never really know, and I really think that when people start throwing around triple A or double A and all this other stuff, it kind of starts to muddy the waters a bit. But that was my long-winded answer. So I'm gonna kick it over to Kev. So what favorite double A game would you like or series would you like to see return without a triple A budget?
Uh, without a AAA budget, well,
Mhm.
I would probably say God Hand.
That's what I'm talking about.
Um,
But we
I
won't
would
see.
probably say God Hand. The thing is that I don't even know. I think God Hand had the only thing that I see with a God Hand reintroduction would be that they would have to completely rework the controls because those controls
They were
were
busted.
I liked them.
Yeah,
I
they were
liked them.
weird.
They were weird, but I liked them. But I don't think today's gaming audience would give it a chance if it had the same controls. So because of that, I'm not gonna say Godhand would be my choice to see that because I think it would have to be a complete remake. On top of that, a lot of the politically incorrect elements in that game would probably wind up being censored out, which by the time you're done with all that, it's not even God hand anymore.
Mm-mm.
But I will just say I'm gonna go back to there was this original PlayStation game that I had. I regret to this day that I traded it in, but it's called One, and it is a 3D shooter. It was hard as nails, and there was one level that was completely busted. Like it was towards the end of the game, and there were some jumps that you had to do, and it was Battletoads hover scooters level busted.
Ugh.
Like yeah, it was. I almost quit like when I got to that level. But One is one of those games that it was one of the first shooters. I mean, when I say shooter, it's a 3D shooter. You're a dude with a gun, you're a single person, and you're just taking out hordes of enemies. And it was the first shooter that really drew you into the power fantasy aspect of what those games have kind of become since then. That was my first, because like once you started getting the power ups, it was just like, nothing was standing in your way. Like until you got to a boss, uh, if you have the right power ups, just getting to the boss, it just made you feel it's like, man, I'm unstoppable. Ugh. So I would have to say One is going to be my answer for this question.
Yeah, this made me think about there was this game called Wet. by I want to say it was by Bethesda
It
or
is Bethesda, yeah. It is
yeah.
Bethesda, yeah.
And I remember playing that game, and that game was just amazing. So yeah, I would love to see a secondary version of Wet because that game was great too. So, but yeah, there are a bunch of classic games that would be fantastic. But I'm gonna throw it over to Joe, my friend. I know you probably got a bunch up your sleeve.
Well, obviously the first one would be the obligatory answer, but it would be like
Say it.
Crackdown 4. I want a new Crackdown, Microsoft. So
Okay.
make it happen. But also, I probably would say, just thinking about some of the games I played in the past, a new Red Faction in the style of Red Faction Guerrilla. Because, Red Faction came up with like different types of special sauce with some of their games. So, like, Red Faction Armageddon was, trying to be like Gears of War light, basically. So it's like, but Red Faction Guerrilla basically was just like, oh my God, chef's kiss. Like, that game was like something proper, with all the physics based like destruction on that. So I think Red Faction Guerrilla would be a good game to revisit. Binary Domain from Ryuga Goku, the same studio that brought you Yakuza Like a Dragon. They did a sci-fi game for Sega back in 2012. That was like kind of bananas on that. So, and I think that would warrant a sequel of some sort, in my opinion. And then also thinking about as well, I just miss kind of the janky like mid like early 2000s games. Like everyone tried to make a GTA clone, but it wound up being like some crappy ass like Final Fight Streetwise or like 25 to Life or something like that. I'm thinking if they would take like the original GTA 3 formula and kind of spice it up and maybe go back to that formula, but just make it kind of not so like masterpiece like all the subsequent Grand Theft Autos tried to be with 4 and 5 and GTA Online on there. That I think an open world game of that sort with if like Volition was still in existence and they were going to riff off of Saints Row 2 and not go wacky like with Saints Row 3, I would welcome like a more grounded like like West Side and all sort of crap, like an open world gang game where it was a little bit more based in reality, but still kind of had some humor a little bit to it, like a game ass game, basically, is what I'm asking for. So I think that would do the trick on there. So, and then what is my last one? I thought of something else, but it's just escaped me right now. Oh, yeah. I just thought about it. You know what screams out double A to the effing core? Thank you. Outriders.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Outriders screams out double A like no one's
Like
business on here.
gangbusters over there.
Like gangbusters. So I know Square Enix is not going to put the Outriders 2 in existence, but I would play the living life out of that damn thing if it came out for some reason. So those, I just like game ass games. I don't want no damn AAA, like, going to change my life. I just want to see games. It's like, Airship Syndicate's been good for bringing out like some games in this kind of wheelhouse as of late. Wayfinder reminds me of a double A game.
Yeah.
I was looking at some other list and they were talking about games like Greedfall being double A, like some Eurojank kind of RPGs also could be considered in this genre. Some people were talking about Atlas Fallen being a double A game, which I want to actually go back to the game. I think I didn't give that game a fair shake. So
I went pretty far. In the paint on that game. So
yeah, because Atlas Fallen, they got the update where they even changed the title screen. I think it was like the I forgot, Fallen Sands, I think is the name of the expansion that they came out with the game. So I'm really curious about that game, or if if the team that created Elix, Elix 2 could bring out another game in that series.
that was Spiders, right?
I think it was Spiders. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Spiders. Yeah, those games are crazy. Yeah.
Another game that I would like to see, Total Overdose. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I don't
It
remember
is
that
a
one.
it is a Max Payne-like game where you are a Latino, a Latin, kind of like a Max Payne character, and you're just slow motion dodging, blowing up everything with dual pistols and shotguns, and I think it could get a rocket launcher too. I mean, talking about game ass games, made no sense. The more stunts you did, the higher your kill score grew, and I think the kill score activated some kind of special. It's been so long since I played that game.
No, that game.
Fortunately, I don't have it anymore. But
I have it somewhere. Yeah, I think I have it for original Xbox. So there's like a
yeah,
mariachi like thing
yeah,
going on with that game too. So.
yeah.
Also,
It would probably be politically incorrect today too.
I don't know.
But,
I mean, you never know.
Probably.
Probably. You're not wrong, but yeah.
It was kind of like, like you're this wannabe. I don't even know if I would call him like an Antonio Banderas type dude, but because
it is. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so you're just. It made nothing about it makes any sense. You're just slow motion dodging. It's almost like Max Payne boiled down to its most core basic elements, and then on top of that, you've got some type of weird grindhouse wannabe, campy, makes no sense story to go along with it. So
sounds great.
Yeah, I would like to see Total Overdose come back.
Yeah.
I might see if it's on PC. It might be on PC somewhere.
It probably is, because it wasn't a PC game as well.
Yeah, it was. So I'll double check. Maybe it's on GOG or something. And then I thought of one last one too, is Mercenaries, that game that was brought up.
Mercenaries. Now that was a fun game.
Yeah, so you played like 3 mercs, and you basically had to go and you had to kill these enemies. It was like the deck of cards, and you're in Korea basically sitting there and bringing down everyone on the map. And so it was like kind of open worldy, but it was from Pandemic Studios, but I played the hell out of that game. I never played Mercenaries 2, the one that was published by EA. So
I played that one too.
Maybe I have to go back to that one and check that one out.
I played that one too. It was good.
I felt bad for Pandemic. Pandemic did like the original Star Wars Battlefront games for LucasArts, and then I think their last game was the Saboteur for EA before they were kind of brought down and closed at that point. That's when EA was buying up all these studios and not letting them do what they do on there. So
yeah. But yeah, I do think that they're like to bring it back to Goonie's point, is I do think that there are a bunch of AA games that even got the AAA treatment and just didn't do so hot. Like some of those, I mean, Blackbird Retail, what happened to the Dragon Age franchise, and how that got the AAA treatment. And because I really don't believe the first Dragon Age was a AAA game. People might disagree with me, but I don't think it was like the first, but then you have great games that really did get good, like the Elder Scrolls type of stuff. Like those games were not AAA games, but when they first started, like, what is it? Marrowwood or whatever the first one was. The first one, but the one that came out in 360 a long time ago. Even look at Oblivion, So yeah, you don't need. I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't need like top of the line graphics or super the greatest budgets to get some really decent ass games out here. And it just seems like more and more people will go back to the well to try to get some stuff back, because the one thing that people like is like things that are known, like known quantities, so that's why we'll always get a Final Fantasy game, that's why we'll always get a Tekken game. So if you're able to go through and revise one of those, but temper your expectations and actually put quality before all this other stuff, you might be able to get a really good game and not to spend a ton of money out of it. So
Yeah.
I think the best thing that can happen to games right now, to be completely honest with you, the best thing that can happen to games right now is to really just scale back some of the money that they're putting on these games. Just scale it back, because I think they're evolving too fast for their own good. You're gonna say something, Joe?
Actually, if you want to really think about that new Eternal Strands game that came out a couple weeks ago, we talked about on the show, that screams double A to me. So
yeah, and it's getting really good reviews. So that's why I'm like, they're there. You just gotta look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you so much, Goonie. We will be continuing our listener questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know on our Discord, or if you're listening on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, and put it in the comments. I look at the comments every day, not every day, but I look at the comments, to see what folks are saying. So, and thank you for helping the YouTube channel grow. Speaking of the YouTube channel, stay tuned, because you might be seeing us start streaming soon, but we will definitely let folks know when that's going to start. Most likely we'll let people know on our Discord. So if you want to know what's going on with the gaming festivals, stay till the end, and Kevin will let you know how to do that. But what follows me, it's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thanks for that, Des. Okay.
You're welcome, Joe.
All right, we talked about Dragon Age in the prior segment, so yeah, we're going to talk about Dragon Age right now.
See what I did?
Yep,
there?
Yep. Nice little segue. So yeah, Dragon Age Studio BioWare supposedly has reportedly halved its in size. They have basically allocated or reorganized a lot of the developers at BioWare to other EA games, and they said basically that they're not on temporary loan to those other studios. They're permanently reassigned to those other studios. So yeah, they informed team members who believed that they'd been temporarily loaned to other EA studios that these moves were now indeed permanent. BioWare confirmed that some employees had been moved to help on other EA projects, said to include Skate and Iron Man, since the next Mass Effect game is in pre-production and did not need the entire studio for it to move forward on here. So, but BioWare is now down more than 200 people 2 years ago to less than 100 right now as it stands. So there's a small team led by veteran employees that are currently working on Mass Effect 5 and will expand as production ramps up on there. So, and BioWare's general manager Gary McKay confirmed the studio's restructuring following the Dragon Age Veilguard's release in late 2024 on here. There was also a story indicating that the creative director of Dragon Age the Veilguard has left BioWare after she has been with BioWare for 18 years. So on there.
Damn.
So yeah. And of course, with Dragon Age the Veilguard, of course, probably didn't meet as much sales expectations as they wanted. BioWare did release patch 5 for Dragon Age the Veilguard this past week and said this is the last patch for the game. That the patch notes up for the update thank fans for playing Dragon Age the Veilguard over the last few months. There were some small quality of life features. BioWare goes on to state in the patch notes that it's now happy that the game is in a quote-unquote stable place and will move on to monitoring for any reports of game-breaking bugs should those occur. The patch notes finish with a statement in saying Darth Shiral, which means farewell or safe journey in the game's Elvish language. So pretty much down.
That's a wrap.
So, yep. So EA said Dragon Age Veilguard had missed the publisher's own internal targets after it, quote unquote, engaged 1.5 million players between October 2024 and the end of the year, down nearly 50% from the company's expectations. So, and of course, like I stated, the game director, Corinne Bush, left the studio, and she said that she's being offered an opportunity to build a fresh RPG that she couldn't turn down. So who knows if she can turn down or whether it was more of a go find the door. But she did state that her departure was voluntary on here. So I don't want to say much more right now, but you count on being a CRPG and upholding the traditions of great characters. So.
Sure didn't do that in Dragon Age.
Hmm.
There were no great characters in that game.
Oh, have you played a little bit, Des? I mean, do you feel like there's good characters in the game, or how you feel about the game so far?
For me, it's kind of a mixed bag. I can totally understand what people are saying with what happened. It definitely underwhelmed, and while I really had no problems with the story or the characters that were presented, it just got kind of it just got kind of boring. The conflict that was brought in just didn't sit. It wasn't enticing enough. And while I thought the characters were fine, their motivations and how it progressed just wasn't enough to keep me involved, keep me engaged.
Got it. I know there's a certain segment, and I know, Kev, you probably want to talk about the DEI and all this other stuff in Dragon Age, but I think in the DEI aside, I don't think you felt the game played well, right?
Well, DEI aside, the game was trash. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because of the combat system. And I think the basic bones of the combat system were good, but they were not nearly as fleshed out as they should have been. Dragon Age biggest problem was that it had activists running the show. And I know that, the Chutosphere has been beating that drum since this game was announced. I know that, but I gotta call it like I see it. From Corinne Bush on down to some of the other more prominent individuals involved with developing this game, they did not do this game any favors by their online comments, by their general attitude, like even on their own Steam blog, and how they were treating people that had what I would consider legitimate complaints. This was a game run by political activists who let their political viewpoint destroy what could have been a very good game. And they didn't put the emphasis on story, on systems, on character development, on character design. Why do these enemies look like crap you would run into in Fortnite? Or them little zombies that you get that you find in Roblox? It makes no freaking sense. It's this was death by activism, and I hate to ring the bell of the Chutosphere, but you gotta call it like it is. They screwed the pooch on this game because they couldn't get out of their own way politically, and just let their work, let the game speak for itself, put all that crap aside and build upon the legacy already established by the first 2 games, or was it 3 games? 3 games.
3 games.
And push that forward. They couldn't do that. I'm pulling a bard because I'm misgendering a field member. Okay, the world's coming to an end, and y'all talking about somebody's misgendering. It just didn't. It made no sense. It made no sense, and it's sad that people. I don't. Well, it sounds. Well, I'm sure. Well, it's sad that people lose their jobs behind this stuff. But that is definitely something that the games industry, in this case, I don't think it's like this for every case. Maybe this case in Concord, they got to just put making a quality game first and kick all their personal shit to the side and just make a good game.
Maybe I'll have to check out the game because, I have no preconceived notions of Dragon Age. I've only played Dragon Age Origins for I think an hour, I think. So,
Mm.
so it's like I'm not going to be saying, oh, these orcs need to look like, deep dark devil orcs, kind of thing. So I'll have to maybe check the game out and kind of go from there. I do have the game. I bought the game. It was on sale. I think I got it for $25, I think. So.
Yeah, well, it's definitely good to
I
form your own opinion.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Because I try to not take this DEI business it's in one ear out the other with me. I don't want to blame DEI on everything. Like I hate to
I'm
say
just
like
blaming bad people. I'm blaming
bad
bad
people.
people. This is
Yeah.
people that this ain't got nothing to do with that. Well, I mean, to a certain degree it does, but for the
Yeah.
most part, it is people that literally put activism before developing a good game. I mean, there's no other way as unbiased a way you can look at this game for as far as I played and just hearing and seeing what these people have said on their own blogs, on their own and I mean, I'm not when I say their own blogs, I mean blogs that represent the company. It's like for me, if I'm selling widgets, I don't care what you say on your own blog. But when you put your nonsense out on my widget blog, or my official widget blog, and you're calling my customers horrible names, telling them that they are sympathizing with World War II German individuals because they don't like your game or they don't like my widget. Nah, keep that shit out of my business, bro. I don't care what you say on your own time, on your own blog, on your own page, but if my business is attached to it, I don't want to hear it. I just want you talking about how great this widget is that you're making for me. And they just let it get out of control. And it would be fine if the activism was around a solid game, because there have been games that have come out that are a quote unquote DEI or agenda driven that I think that have turned out to be good. I think South of Midnight is going to be very good actually. And people say it's agenda driven, which is like, okay, I can't I'm not seeing it, but this game definitely put agenda first, and the people involved just instead of focusing on making a good game, they just jumped the shark on it. I've tried to look at it in other ways and tried to see it from a different perspective. And as somebody that played and finished Origins and liked it, yeah, they jumped the shark on this big time.
Well, I'll have to go maybe take a look. And
Yeah,
I've never
take a
played.
look. I wish
I never
I wish I'd have known you were looking for it because I just sold mine.
What price did you get yours? I know you sold it in your stores, so.
Yeah, I sold it for like 24.
Okay, yeah, GameStop had it, I think, this past week on their Pro Week sale for like $22, $22.50.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they had a bunch of games that basically didn't meet expectations on sales. So they had that game. They had Starfield for Xbox. So I don't even know why would they even buy physical copies of Starfield to sell for Xbox Series consoles. So it's on Game Pass. I don't know what you're expecting, but yeah, you know.
Yeah. Definitely check it out. You may have a different opinion. I mean, there are some people that like the game, and that's perfectly fine. But I couldn't get past the mechanics and just all the characters just not really being interesting, including the character that you control.
Got it.
It's just
All right. Well, in better news, I don't know about better because something's going away, but PlayStation's 30th anniversary PlayStation 5 themes are going to be leaving on here.
Yay.
So Sony says they'll be back though. So themes based on
Boo.
previous PlayStation consoles will be removed at the end of January. So if you're listening to this now, it's already been done on here, but they stated that they informed players that these themes will only they'll be leaving only temporarily temporarily, but due to positive user feedback, we're doing some scenes behind the work to bring these special designs back in the months ahead. So we'll have to see on there. Did you guys, as Ked, did you enjoy having the 30th anniversary themes on there, or were you like,
I
made
did.
this?
I thought it was pretty dope. And I don't know why PlayStation does things like this. I was listening to I was listening to another podcast yesterday. It was the place. What was it called? Uh, Dang, I forget and it was right on the tip of my tongue. But it's hosted by Jabroni and Persona, and they were saying something that made a whole lot of sense. It's like this is just like one additional layer that makes the console a little bit less unique to own. And I'm completely in agreement with them.
How so?
Because it's pointing, it's giving you, it's pointing, it has the option of pointing you in the direction of saying this is how far we've come. I think the idea of being able to load up a PlayStation 1 boot up screen, a PlayStation 2 boot up screen, which is what I had. And I think the PS3 boot up might have been available too, and have that, PlayStation 30th anniversary up there, and that could be something that can be updated, from when we goes to 30 and to 40. I think it's just pointing toward the legacy of the product. And let's be honest, how many outside of Nintendo, how many other consoles are there on the market that have a 30-year legacy? Not many. Maybe it is only I think it is only Sony and Nintendo. Actually, Nintendo's longer.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things that I think it was great that they included, and I think it's dumb that they're removing it.
Well,
And
it's at
what'll
least
probably
coming
happen
back,
is,
so
yeah, they'll come back and then they'll charge you a few bucks to put it back on. It's
I
like,
hope not. Mm-mm.
I'm like, that's it's dumb. It was there. It could have stayed. It could have been like, hey, here's the option if you want to turn it off, if you want to go back to the standard. It could be this could have been a launching board for future themes, paid and free in the future, and this could have been a launching board for that. I think giving you something cool and then taking it away for no reason just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's just one of those layers of the onion that's being stripped away that just makes the console just ever so slightly less unique to own, particularly with one with such a long history as PlayStation. And I think this was silly for them to take it away.
I think they needed to rework it because I think they have to work the memory issue as far as having this theme on top. I know some people were complaining that with the additional themes that the UI was running just a little bit slower than usual as far as on the
I didn't notice
PlayStation
it.
5
I didn't
dashboard.
notice any issues. I didn't even notice any issues on mine.
Yeah, and some people were complaining about the way it looked on the top and the bottom of the screen as well. So I mean, if they could,
issues like that.
yeah, if they could take it back and maybe rework it and implement it in the future update, I think that'd be the best thing. So for sure, I think originally they were planning on just having this as a temporary thing, but they should have planned ahead of time just in case that the demand was pretty high. I've enjoyed in the last few generations of PlayStation, both PS3 and PS4, having those customizable themes on there. I always enjoyed the themes. I know PS3 was a lot more flexible because there were people out there actually creating themes, and you could download themes. I was downloading themes off the internet too on there, and some of the custom themes were actually pretty damn bombed until they got honest true for PS3. So And then the PS4, it became more of a just depends if the game company in question were offering a theme with the pre-order or something like that, or on the disc or available in the store. And give it up for a PS4. I thought PS4, the implementation of the themes was actually, quite nice. I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure why they got rid of it in 5, but I think it's because of the fact that every tab when you bring up a game has its own splash screen and that kind of thing. So I think they basically just decided to let each game have its own baked in theme if you click on the icon. I don't know. What do you think, Des?
I did not like it.
You did not like it?
I didn't like it. And I'm happy that it's gone. But I do understand why people did like it. There is a bit of what we would call a nostalgia that's 100% real, and I knew why it was there. I do think that it is silly to take it away for the sheer fact that your 30th anniversary is the whole year, and it doesn't hurt anybody to have it. So why take it away? And I think Kevin is completely right when he says they're probably going to give it to you again for a charge. And that just seems unnecessary. If this is your way of celebrating how cool you are, why are we punishing the fan base, and why are we taking it away? It's just, you should just been able to toggle it on or off and let it be that. If this is something you're doing for the community and you're trying to build, I don't know if you have to build your brand. The brand's kind of already established, but at the same time, it's just let it be its thing and let people turn on or off. And the thing that kills me about it is it doesn't cost them anything to do this. It literally doesn't. Just let them have it. Just let them have it. So, but Sony got a Sony, so that's all we can say about it.
Well, we'll have to see. Hopefully they come back sooner than later for sure. So. And let us know out there if you've enjoyed the themes or not, or if you're sad that they're gone. Maybe get your viewpoint. We'll talk about it on a main event if need be, or mention feedback on there. So next news story I want to talk about is Ninja Gaiden 4. Gaiden. So they had an interview with Team Ninja, and basically it was collaborated that Phil Spencer basically threw out the idea of using Platinum Games to help with the development. So in an interview with Game Watch, Team Ninja producer Fumihiko Yasuda explained that the studio had been trying to make a new Ninja Gaiden game for some time, but couldn't come up with any definitive plans. Now, according to Yasuda, it was Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer who proposed that Team Ninja team up with Platinum Games to make a Ninja Gaiden game together. So, and he stated, I think everyone knows that Ninja Gaiden series has been on hold for more than a decade, but Team Ninja has been considering making a new title for a long time. However, we were having difficult decisions deciding on a plan. Then Team Ninja Tecmo Koei president Yoshida Kouma and Platinum Games president Yakasushi Inaba, who are also from the same generation, are good friends, had a chance to discuss the matter. So they basically hashed it out. Phil Spencer suggested that the three companies work together on a new numbered title in the Ninja Gaiden series, and that's how the project started. So
thank you, Phil.
Yeah, I know. So he kind of
Phil over here doing the work. Go on, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil, bringing people together.
Phil was on Dustin Ligeri's YouTube channel, and he explained that it took multiple trips to Japan. I think I have a picture of me in their office.
Huh?
Yeah. They have a picture in with him in their offices holding a Ryo Hayabusa statue back in 2017. That's when we started going, hey, we should do something. So I guess they've made numerous business trips over there, him and Sarah Bond. They were looking to try to find the right studio for the game for Platinum. We got them signed up. It's been a good journey. What happened at Scalebound, Phil?
He's like, I can't that.
Yeah.
I guess the check has long since cleared, so
Yeah.
for their
It
own
was like,
project that
yeah,
they
it
use
was
that
like,
money on.
we already
Water
got,
under the bridge.
we already got paid for all that. Sorry.
Well, it's like it's in of itself by itself. Remember, I think Microsoft back in the day were working with Level 5 on True Fantasy Online, and that was a game I was like, oh my god, this game looks so awesome, and they wound up shit canning that game, and it was like really a bummer. So. But I think if Xbox can work, especially if they say we want to like make inroads with the Asian territories, I welcome any sort of money hats they could throw out the way, or see if games could get developed. I mean, they could work with Sega to make a new Phantasy Star Online that's not New Genesis on there. Maybe get that out, but we'll have to see what else Phil can throw in there. And I like the fact that, in of itself by itself that, they're not, this would have been really good exclusives for the Xbox Series consoles, but that is
Sure
not their
woulda.
approach. Not their approach.
Sure woulda.
I didn't give an update in my playlist, but
Sure woulda.
my Series X went bye-bye, so I'm no
What?
longer an Xbox console owner.
Say it isn't
I,
so, Joe. Say it
I've
isn't so.
I've been having. I was talking to Des like the other night, saying
He cried a
I
little.
I have some Xbox One games I don't know what to do with
He
now, and
cried.
it's like
He cried a little. He was like, "What am I gonna do? Phil
Like
gonna get mad
original
at me."
Xbox games or Xbox One titles? Like,
these are Xbox One titles, so
He
it's
straight
like,
up
you
said,
better hold on to those. They're gonna be worth something.
He said,
you think
"Phil's gonna
so?
come and beat me."
Yeah, I think some of those games. I don't think every game, but I think some of those games are going to be worth something. It's going to be many many years coming. But I think if you keep them in good shape, and I think in probably in 10, 15 years they might be worth something.
All
Just
right.
because it was an era, it was Xbox's last era where they put the console first.
Yeah, it's a bygone era type thing.
Yeah,
Well,
it's an era ender type
I
deal.
was actually looking at Facebook Marketplace and other things, and like an Xbox One X, the world's most powerful console, is out
Yeah.
there, like $100. So if I happen to see one that's reasonably priced,
Mm,
how many teraflops did that system have? It beat the PS4. It
so
even beat
many,
the PS4 Pro. Yeah, it had like
so many.
8 teraflops, 12 teraflops. I think I still have the like background from one of the trade shows. It's like so
Eats
powerful, it's
monster
almost
for
unfair.
breakfast.
Yes. Oh yeah,
Mm.
it's kind of ridiculous, but who
Eats
knows?
monsters for breakfast.
Maybe I will bring that back in my life at some point. We'll see. Because God forbid I have room for everything over here. So.
Yeah.
And I still have an original Xbox somewhere, so it's not like, or original X 360. So I got a bunch of 360 games still too. So
I got my original Xbox still.
Yeah, so do I.
yeah,
I think it's in a box somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. Might be at Joe's house for all I know. Damn.
it might be. Who knows? So. All right, let's go on to our announcements and release dates. So first announcement from this past week. Hey, guess what? Forza Horizon 5. Forza, Halo, and Gears. Forza Horizon 5 was announced coming over for PlayStation 5. So it'll be coming out in the spring. It's being brought forward by the team Panic Button. Panic Button, if you are not familiar with their work, they handled a lot of Switch conversions. So they are very handy with converting modern console games, PS4, Xbox One era games out for the Switch. So, but they're working on it, and it will contain all the content available in the Xbox and PC versions of the game on here. Forza Horizon 5 will have all the previously released car packs available for purchase as well, including the 2 Hot Wheels expansions and Rally Adventure. So,
Ooh, hot damn.
Mm-hmm.
hot damn. So, Playground Games said we are excited to see the Forza Horizon 5 community grow with these new players on PlayStation 5 and can't wait to see the creativity and skill these new creators, builders, and racers bring to our vibrant community.
Shit, I can't wait for all this money.
Yeah, you got it. So
That's the money.
Somebody got to buy these games.
Hell yeah.
As well as the PS5 port, new free content available for Forza Horizon 5 called Horizon Realms. So it's coming to all platforms. So according to Playground Games, the Realms update will give players the chance to explore the curated collection of some of the community's favorite previously released evolving worlds, alongside some other surprises. So let's see. I'm curious to see if there's going to be like haptic feedback with the triggers, with the DualSense, and it's kind of crazy. But this, especially if they make it to where it runs better on the Pro, will kind of just basically
make me laugh my ass off.
Yes.
PlayStation has brought out a professional console so that Microsoft can take advantage by releasing games for it. So they don't need the Xbox Series XX. They have the PlayStation 5 Pro to be able to do it.
Everything is an Xbox now, apparently.
You know it. And since Panic Button's involved with this port, even though it's not announced here, I could like dimes to dollars. Switch 2 is going to be seeing Forza Horizon 5 as well. So,
most definitely.
Yeah, for sure. But it makes sense in that way. And I think, Kev, are you going to dive into Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5? Are you interested in it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Forza Horizon 5. I don't care what anybody says. I have tried every slider. I have tried every adjustment on these cars. They classify it as an arcade racer. It is not. All those cars drive, they control like they're on ice. I'm sorry, but they do. I can't. They're trying to straddle that line between sim and arcade, and they don't do it very well from a control standpoint. And I have played with those sliders. I have played with those sliders for as long as it takes Des to create a character in an RPG.
Hey now.
And I cannot get any of them cars, at least the ones that I had when I was trying to play this game on Xbox. I could not get those cars to control for nothing. So no, I will not be partaking in Forza Horizon 5 at all.
And neither will I, for all those exact same reasons. Even though I don't play racing games, I feel you, Kev.
Man, that's cold as ice, man. That's straight cold-blooded.
If this game controlled like Grid, I would not have a problem with it, but it doesn't. Grid is the only series that can straddle that line between arcade and sim perfectly, with a slight tilt toward arcade. And I think that's what makes Grid work, where Forza Horizon 5 does not work when it comes to control for me. I ain't buying no steering wheel to play Forza Horizon. That makes no sense.
For me, I'm not going to buy Forza Horizon 5 for PlayStation right off the bat. I bought Forza Horizon 4 before they delisted it on Steam about maybe a couple months ago. I think it was like $7.99 for everything with the game, including some additional content. So I probably check that out, and I'll have PC Game Pass. And if I really want to play Forza Horizon 5, I could play it with all the bells and whistles on PC. So,
There you go.
That's what to say about that. But, we'll see how well the version is. I'm kind of curious if they have a physical coming out for it. I'll be, I haven't kept an eye out on what Microsoft's doing for the PlayStation 5 ports, and I'm really curious if they actually have any sort of physical media coming out for any of these
I don't think
games.
so. It's all going to be downloaded.
I think so too.
Content.
They're kind of leaving money at the table, though, especially with other territories that maybe don't download games as much. It just depends. Care. Yeah, we'll have to see. Oh, another thing that got brought out or announced this past week, the original PC ports of Dino Crisis, both 1 and 2, are now on GOG, and they have modern improvements for the ports on here. So basically what GOG does with certain PC games is that they make sure that these games run on modern PCs, and so basically they're one of the games in their particular. They have a series of games. They have a preservation program called basically where they are making sure once they put games up on GOG on their store that they are guaranteed to run on modern systems on here. So if you click on the link in the store, it says it's a GOG preservation program. This game is a GOG classic on here that GOG maintains and preserves as part of the good old game preservation program to give you the best experience available for good old games on the market. So both Dino Crisis 1 and Dino Crisis 2 have a number of different optimizations so that they run well on modern PCs on there. So it's kind of cool because I know a lot of people have been asking for a sequel to Dino Crisis. So obviously Dino Crisis 3 is nowhere to be found on this. So so I don't know if you remember Dino Crisis 3. It came out for the original Xbox, and it was like dinos in space. It was pretty bad. So
and you loved it.
No, I never played it, but
I never played that either.
Yeah, but what to see, especially with me diving into PC games, especially if these games wind up going on sale, I think it might be cool to check them out. So on there, I also need to play some Exo Primal in my life before they bring the servers down on that bad boy, but we'll see on that. So me, I love games, so I'm all about the games. Crackdown, Suicide Squad, Exo Primal, it. I love it.
Well, someone's got to be. So thank you for taking that bullet for us, buddy.
Of course. All right, and then last but not least, last news story, last release date. Digital Eclipse announced that they're going to be releasing physical editions of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. It's coming out for both PlayStation 5 and Switch on May 30th. Sorry, Xbox fans, no physical for you. I hate to say it, but too bad, so sad on there. So if you want to buy the regular edition, it's coming out for $34.99. Standard, they do have a deluxe edition for only $15 more for $49.99. The special edition comes with a special retail box and cover, a steelbook case, poster, a 3D lenticular postcard, and individual pixel art collectible Power Ranger cards. So, it actually sounds like a good price to pay. I mean, the game's digitally like $34.99 anyway. So lots of goodies. I don't know, Kev, are you thinking about maybe getting this physical or care about playing this game at all?
I'm curious about playing the game. I've just never really been a Power Rangers fan. I've seen the gameplay of it. It looks fun. It might be something just to have in the collection. Just keep it wrapped and have it in the collection because, yeah.
I'm taking a look at it. I'm like, I'm all down. That steelbook actually looks nice. So
it looks fun.
I'm not exactly the biggest Power Rangers fan, at least, because when I came out originally, I was already in my 20s, but so it kind of makes where my age difference and everything. I enjoyed, I thought the Pink Ranger was cute, but hey, but
get out of here.
I know, get out of here. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. That is the last news story. That is the Jabroni Gaming News for this episode, sir.
Well, all right. Thank you for bringing that information to us. Game night takes place every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is the day and time set aside for that we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So if you're asking yourself, how do I join the Discord? That's easy. All you do is head over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X. Or GameStar or Blue Sky, and you head over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. Tap the link in the bio, and you're in. We have no merch to hawk to you, and we have no Patreon tier list that you need to pay for in order to join our community. We just ask that you be a decent individual, likes talking about games. And if you meet that criteria, I think you will find a pleasant home aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. Special shout out goes to Goonie, who responded, who provided a response for our main event this episode. As always, listener interaction is great. I think it adds a little more meat to the bones of our typical podcast structure. So it is very much appreciated. Big shout out goes out to Goonie for his question for our main event. So that is going to bring episode 271 to a close. And I want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt, with us. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. That Gamer Stepdaddy. And for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all never forget, man.
Never forget.
And we'll be back next week, or next time rather, episode 272 for your ears. Peace.